But, exclamation point, I'm always happy to play around with a new tool. Period. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Tim starts throwing quite a few projects our way. But for now, we chill.
Hey guys, I keep getting requests to do a lost resin casting guide, also known as investment casting, covering all the steps and equipment needed to turn 3D print into solid metal, such as bronze, silver, gold, or leather. So that's my aim today. I'll also be looking for ways of saving money, as I bet this process begins with a 3D resin print. Resin printer will do. The better the print quality you can achieve, the better the metal castings should be. The magic ingredient for lost resin casting is the resin itself. Ordinary resins just won't work properly, so a specialized castable resin is needed. I've tested a number of castable resins, and so far at least, my personal favourite, based on affordability, usability, and casting results, is Seriatech Cast. It does a great job and doesn't break the bank. The printed pattern needs to be encased in a specialised plaster, and to hold this, we need a metal flask. There's two main sorts of expensive, one nice, and this. They're in a vacuum. According to the manufacturer's use a wax. There's a big central trunk and often smaller branches. Gives us what is commonly called a tree. The wax drum sits in rubber or silicon within specific temperatures and time frames stipulated by the plaster manufacturer. It will leaves unwanted trapped air. And ideally, you need a vacuum with a manual PVC pump, which I successfully used on dozens of occasions. Later, these are expensive, but I did create my own very simple and very cheap in-chamber and manual PVC pump, which I successfully used on dozens of occasions. Later, I upgraded to the RB casting system, which does it all. Once the plaster has set and rested, it needs to be cooked in what's commonly called in sequence cleanly, and the plaster is baked to prepare it for casting at very high temperatures. So your kitchen oven just won't do it. This means you will need a burnt oven. Now again, these can be very expensive option, a few £100. It's much easier than you'd think. Yes, I employed a fancy hoist mechanism to raise and lower it. That drives up the cost, and you might not need something that complex. You could keep things much simpler and therefore much cheaper. Once the burnout cycle is complete, it's time to melt some metal. You can't use the burnout oven as that's already busy. Thus a higher temperature is likely needed. So a second furnace is required. Gas does a fair job. You can't, I personally prefer electric furnaces, which work indoors, very quiet, reasonably quick, and are very capable at controlling the temperature. This budget furnace I realized really well, so it's considering. When it comes to the pour, once again, you'll want to vacuum your flask. Now trust me, I've tried lots of ways not to use vacuum, and none of them achieved suitable results. But when I finally came up with my own vacuum chamber, my results changed dramatically for the better. The purpose of the vacuum is simple. The resin print has burnt away, leaving a print-shaped hole inside the plaster. Metal is poured in, but this has trouble filling all the nooks and crannies. Vacuum system pulls on the metal through the plaster, removing trapped air buckets and pulling the metal into every crevice. When starting out, homemade system will serve you well. And if possible, replace the plastic pump with a proper vacuum pump, as manual pumping is a bit of a pain. Now, my pump states it should not be used on anything hot. If used in dozens of occasions, those or without incident. Do this at your own course. Something like the RB system is a much better choice and does the job almost enough, though it will cost you that bit more. Plunge the flask into a bucket of water. A few seconds of flow has gone from the physical metal. Finally, it's time to clean up your casting, putting away the screw and filing things smooth. For this, a simple jeweler's saw right, and metal files help clean pretty, sanding and polishing options. Better choice would be a Forden, which has a strong, long-lasting motor to do the job better, though these are expensive. Thankfully, I recently reviewed the RB Pro Flex system, which does exactly the same job for less than half the price. enjoy polishing this way, as it gives me a feeling of control. I have made a vibration controller which, though noisy, works very well. There's also the option of a barrel tumbler, which uses water and metal shot to plunge the castings. Before I move on in other videos, to make life better, lastly, the details of the low session. This technique can be applied to resin, wax, or PLA.
Shit, forgot I was streaming. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Or my YouTube feed. So interesting, though. I'll be doing a lot of that stuff in the future. Hopefully this doesn't get copyright flagged. That'd be annoying. Alright, let's open up Unity. Get started. All right, so we fixed the toes yesterday. I did that off camera. Looks like I'm still missing one of the claws. Excuse me. And these, if I remember correctly, we're using the relation to do that. Makes it quick and easy, so we'll just Alt D. Let's switch this to toe ring. Alt D and toe. All right, nice and easy. That should fix both of them. Our hand is fixed now. Hello, Hanma. Welcome. How's your day going, Hanma? I think I already rigged the face. Means we would now need to. I guess I do have to switch to the merged. Makes the most sense. So, okay, so let's go here. Body. Do this. Bam. Very angry. Why is that? Oh. DM'd little y. Bam. I'm sorry to hear that. Something, the avatar itself just break or something, or what's going on? Okay, so we've got that. We're joining the body merged. Let's double check if it's moving proper. Make sure the low poly body is disabled. Like that. Need to make little context switches. That would be easiest. Okay, that looks good. Fingers are moving. On the body here. Join at all at merge origin. I wonder if that would work still if I did this. Still getting good results? No. What I thought. What I thought would it. So we still want that place. So I need to merge everything together. Maybe we'll do merge all at origin on the other guy. And we'll do this. Duplicate up after doing that. Okay. Oh. Sorry. There we go. Duplicate. Apply. All right. Nice. Ooh. Interesting. Why is that? Because everything got converted to an attribute. Bizarre. Okay, so that means join body merged. Not a boom. Those all sound like pretty standard situations for this kind of work. I mean, personally, I've never had any commission where I've handed it off to the client the first time and it's perfect. I just don't think that happens. So hopefully they do reach out and follow up and get those changes in. But I would wait to hear back from them before assuming the worst. Okay, so that's 8 bones. Let's actually back up this way. Need one more tail. Do that. Go to deform, tab, turn off main. Bam. Boom. Learned a lot of MISO, a lot for me, so I really hope I didn't waste it. I would just wait to hear back. Don't fret too much until you've had time to talk to them. Like I was saying, it's just, sometimes iterating on the avatar that's just how it happens. These systems really do tend to require a lot of fine tuning and iterating. This one's hard as hell to see. Switch it to stick. That's a little far, I think. So I could put it right there. Just know it's going to be more effort for them to re-implement all those original shape keys, as there was a lot. It depends. If they are going to have trouble, if they do encounter some issues with it, definitely let me know, because I'd be happy to point them in the right direction or take care of that. They're quite capable, so I think I would just wait to hear from them before assuming the worst. Tail 1 or just tail.l, will that work? Subdivide, or maybe just cc underscore tail subdivide to get 8. That'd be 1 there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 2. So actually I think I want this many, and then okay. Then we'll select the whole thing. Armature, name, auto name left. Okay, perfect. There are some they're quite experienced with Blender, so if that data needs to get transferred over, I know that they're familiar with that low level work of making shape keys and stuff, so the skills are there. It may just have been an oversight. How are you though, Sam? I'm doing well. Doing well. I ended up doing some IRL work. So I actually made some murals last week, and I may be doing quite a bit more of that work moving forward. Excuse me. So I'm pretty excited because I feel like it might be a new direction for me. Or a new something in addition. I think I'll try to stream that work in the future as well. So you guys can see me work on some murals. Should be fun. Right. Beautiful. So let's look at the tail really quick. So this one has no weights. This one here, it's just using another curve. Okay, that's interesting. I should be able to. Okay, the curve happens here, so I should be able to make a geonode that takes the bounds of this object. Okay, let's give that a shot. So bounds to banded attribute, something like that. Subdivided attribute. Glad to hear you're busy. Honestly, hard to see. I was so ready to start the Abbey imported and saw it all gone. But yeah, all hopes that it won't be too difficult for them at the back. I don't want to ask too much. Well, certainly just making things clear and communication is a big part of the commission process. So just double checking and seeing what's what. But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's definitely just kind of how this area of work goes, honestly. Do a bevel there. That's be simplest. Increase the resolution however much I want. Bevel weight percent. Something like this. All right, good enough. Now we'll add a geonode. We'll call this what we already said. Boom. Boom. It's asset. Yeah, I kind of had this realization recently of like, I really do think that learning to build things digitally is like such a good first step for learning how to build things physically. I think though that will be a major direction for a lot of art and things moving forward. But quite excited. I think my skills will translate to some IRL projects pretty nicely. Like I want to start making. That's how cars are made. That's definitely getting there. There's still so much manual process to a lot of things, but automation is really gonna change a lot. Or like 3D printing, like how we made the processes we have, tools we have. I'm excited. All right, so let's take the bounding box of our geometry. No, use radius. We have the min and max, so we want to do, let's just do the y for now. We want to, how would we do that? Need to identify each segment. Going this way, so it look like this, and we'd have some slices like that. This way, boom, and then we band it this. So each section is going to, we'll do one at a time. So this will be 0. Then we'll repeat for each section. Boom, boom, boom. Hi, Pixie Girl. Can you go up there? Okay. So we would determine how many groups we want. So that's going to be a repeat for sure. So we have one group, which will be absolutely everything. Oops. Okay. Come on, click. It's getting stuck. I can't tell if that's why it's doing that. So I'm just gonna separate these two for better visuals. Okay. Boom. So how many times do we want to go through it? So we want one group. So we go to 0. Does that even pass the geometry through? I guess it would. It would just do nothing. All right, that's cool. Now we're going to store a named attribute, load point. So annoying. See, I'm clicking there and it's just not letting go of my selection. Weird. Clicking. I'm clicking. God damn it. What the fuck? I must be Blender because it's not my mouse. Interesting. I did re-enable screencast keys recently. Annoying again. Uh-oh. Deck Avatar, the gesture animation that is meant to do a blast, but the gesture and blast are like a second out of sync. Tried so hard to sync them. In your animator, the transitions between states also take time, but you can change. So if the animations are the same, the gesture and the blast, the animation clips might be fine, but transitioning to those clips may take more time than you expect. Okay. Oops. So I want to split or separate the XYZ for both of these vectors, the min and max vectors. I'll actually do an index switch. To take these values. So, and these are what we're going to compare. I guess we're doing the X first. No, I want to do Y. So. Understand that direction. Bam. Okay. So separating that value, we now have the Y min and max. We're going to map this range. We'll, of course, need a stat node. So we can take that geometry, bada boom. They are the same clip. It's a clip that turns off your arm mesh, replace it as the finger gesture. Upon release, the particle is meant to blast off, but instead the blast happens at the start of the animation for a reason that I'll soon discover. Well, good luck. Defeat Unity. Dominate it. Okay, so oh no, just one stat node as we feed in. I guess this would just be position. So position, and we would do one more index switch the same way. I'm clicking. So take this, separate, boom, boom, boom. Go. This output goes, that's the actual attribute, the position. This X. I guess it's already the bounds, so slap this in here. From min to max of whatever axis we want. In this case, Y. Take that value. And we want to set it to the total number of iterations divided by, or no, it would be divide. Give me a math node. We would divide 1 by the amount of iterations. Then we would multiply that value by the current iteration. It does start counting at 0. So let us switch for this value that if this equals 0, then we just send the divide amount. Otherwise, we send the multiple. Oh, that's not right. Also, play mode, any skin meshes that have their game object turn off via animation automatically turn off the skin mesh component inside the object. So I had to animate a reset that turns all skin meshes on, but this also made it hard to create animations that involve skin meshes for damaged arms and such. You could use the Poyomi shader if they're all the same shader by any chance. You have a well, either way, if you have Poyomi, you can use UV discards, and that would let you keep the skin meshes on and just toggle that UV discard, or you could scale the bones down. It's a quest, Avi. Eventually, gotcha. All right, so this is the incremental value. Gosh dang it. Looking. Oh, I see how to do it. It would just be a multiply add. Multiply add. Because we would take our value, multiply it by the iteration, and then add it that iteration. God damn it, I'm clicking. I need a new mouse. I need a new mouse. It's driving me nuts. Okay, so that's the actual value that we want to. Sorry, 1 second. Let me beat the shit out of my mouse. Okay. There we go. So define add iteration. This should be well, you know what? I will keep this as just a multiply. So multiply it by it. Then we'd want another add. And that's the max value. And this would be the min. So max. Oh my god. This mouse. Just fucking click. So that'd be the max. This would be the min. Hopefully that fixed it. There we go. Okay. So those are the values for our range. Now we need to develop a name for a way to make the name. So we take our input. We want to add a string input. This will be attribute name. Okay. Oh, it's probably because I'm in this lasso. Let's just do tweak. Okay, that's probably what it is. All right, let's take the name and we're going to addend or add or end. What is it? String, join strings. Okay, so we take this string And we're going to say float to string, value to string, iteration. Well, actually, multiply this by 0.001. Add this here, put that in the string name. So now I have one named attribute, and as I turn up these iterations, we should see more than one attribute, because name differently. Where would we see that? We could see that in our stats view. So this will be on our vertexes. We can see 0.001, so we haven't named anything yet. We would just say, let's say tail. So that's what we want to do. Perfect. Tail 0. So 0 there. We have a 0 there. Funny. There's a way to do that. I'm gonna get going though, Sammy. Appreciate you a lot. Hopefully all is well. And when I'm done with the Avi, good luck. Thank you, Hanma. Enjoy the rest of your day. Wishing you well with your Avi. Let me know how things go, and we'll chat later. Bye, Hanma. Bye. Delimiter do. String value to place between each concatenated string. Slice string. Position 1. There we go. Okay, slice string is what we wanted. All we need to do, except for 0, we want to switch. Switch. So this will be a value switch string where if this equals 0, then we just don't add anything to it. So that means it should just be attribute name tail. Okay, but it just gets ordered a little differently. It's over here. So just to give it a full example. Okay, now it's getting organized. Boom. It's because of the C. Funny. Cool. I think I need to swap these. these go. No, 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 no. Okay. So we need to convert these values that we're sampling to the actual range. So what we want to do is take the max and subtract it from the minimum. This gives us our actual range. And then we can divide that by the amount of iterations. And this gives us our value per range, which now basically we're mimicking this, where we'd get a multiply and add. We'd multiply this by, sorry, this value should come from the amount of iterations then we multiply that by the current iteration for the low, be the minimum right here. And then we add this in order to get the max. Seems overtly complicated. Overly complicated, overtly. Let's put this over here. Attribute. Tail. Okay, that's kind of what I was hoping for that. Tail 01. Tail 02. Okay, so it's still mapping this whole range. And that's not what we want. So I think that would actually be session. No, this is totally wrong. I guess we do a float curve just to ensure that we get fall off I'm expecting. The issue now is that it's not actually starting at oh, it's always the start of the week that makes it so difficult. All right. Sorry, getting distracted. So we got this range. I see. We have the right range. we got the increment and we are adding it correctly now for the minimum and maximum. However, they both need to start from the minimum. Now this would be correct. Beautiful. Okay. Perfect. And then it's like a small fall off on each one. Do I want it to be polarized like this? I suppose I do. I think I would also want the ability to blur these. So we'll do a blur attribute. And just add these to the input. Blur, iterations, and the weight. Bam. There we go. Okay, so this creates all the groups based on the name. One additional thing I would like to add is a join string here. And then an input. Add another string, which we'll call postfix. Should be a string as well. And we'll put this here. So if I want to add dot L 10, and so now all of these are dot L values. Beautiful stuff. And we can blur those as desired. You know, actually, I added postfix, but I think we'll change that from postfix to a bool. And we'll call this mirror. Mirror attributes. Create mirror attributes. Okay. So if that's true, then we'll do a switch where if it's true, this will go here, and we'll add a string alt dot L. This will go here. And maybe we'll rename that one more time to be create empty mirror attributes. Because otherwise they won't mirror properly in the mirror modifier. Okay, so we'll need another repeat node. And we'll do repeat, or sorry, input iteration amount. Does the design and placement look good to you? Question mark. Sounds like you mostly just want the weathering details added. Weathering and age related details. Let me just chat with Gwen. Let me exclamation point. Exclamation point. Good. Exclamation point. Good girl. Good one. All right, so I think we did pretty good here. We got the group names. I can add a post fix. You know what? I think that's simpler actually, because I can just do 2 modifiers rather than all this other bullshit. Yeah, I could just flip the object, flip the weights. Okay, much simpler. Yeah, I like that. Leave the viewer on. We'll take this, we'll dissolve it. We're going to join like that, but that's a pain in the butt, so we'll get rid of this, add in, input, post fix, and back to string, and that's what we'll get added here. So this way I could just do .l as needed. Yay. Okay. And then if I want to make it on the right side, I just add .r. If I don't want either of those, I just leave it blank. Perfect. Yay. That's super smart. Bounds to subdivided attribute. Oh, we'll say axis. This. Move it up here, I think. So right now it's the y-axis. And we'll actually add that to the description. X, Y. Let's see. Yeah. Wish I could make a little menu instead. That'd be cool. If I can do that, I don't know how to do it just yet. All right, iterations. This is the blur iterations and the blur. Wait. All right. Okay. Back to here. And that was asset browser, bounds to subdivided attribute. Okay, so we'll take this one, get rid of the mirror, drop this here, and we'll do attribute name cc underscore tail dot l, and put that before the curve. Switch it to the y-axis. We want to divide it. Interesting. I suppose I actually would want it slightly different for the beginning and end. No, I don't want to mess with that right now, so we'll just say 7. Like so. Actually, it should still work pretty fine because there shouldn't be any other group influencing the tips. Okay. Let me double check the phone names. I don't know why it's zooming me down there. Okay, lowercase. Okay. So now what I'll do is find this object here. This is the tail mesh. Tail left. Tail middle. And tail right. Which what we'll do is get a transform. Geometry here, and we'll set the scale to -1. Then we'll add a flip so we can flip the faces and everything's facing the correct way. And we just switch the postfix to R. That should be good. Very Interested to see how this works. Okay. All right, not seeing anything there. All right, did I even fix my main issue? No, I didn't. Okay, so let me undo a few things. All right, get rid of that. Turn these back on. Switch our group to back to body source because I'd rather use the correct stuff. Where we also have the merge all at origin. Goofy way to do it, I know, but that's the way I want to do it. All right, no movement there. How about the main one? I didn't add any groups, so let's go here. Back to tails. Meshes. This one will also get the group middle. It's to be after the bevel, otherwise messing things up. No postfix. That might not be right. Ooh. .x, and it's named differently. Oh shit. That's annoying. They have a different. Strings aren't stupid. Right back. I'm going to make a phone call really quick. Back again. All right. So unfortunately, our weights are not transferring properly. Not as well as I would have liked. So we'll do a different approach. Well, no. Okay. So this is how we would name it with standard naming. Gonna switch the strings. So we take the iteration here, we multiply it. On this one, none of this is doing anything. Take that value and multiply it by one less. Then we take it to a string, slice that string. Shouldn't that? Fine. say use ARP duplicate names. This gives us these values here, which we can slice out like so. So we just get 0, 1, 0. And we should be able to slice the other way by doing -1, -1. Yeah, okay, so perfect. All right, that cleans up a little bit of it. We still need to do one more join string. Which is like this here. Where we join our string. And we use the same attribute name. That's a switch. The join is after. So boom, boom, boom. It's here, here. That. Okay, so join the attribute name. Go back to Blender really quick. Go back to the tail really quick. What's this first one say? _00.x. So it does start at 0, 0 here. Perfect, that simplifies some stuff. Which means we don't need this switch here at all. We just join attribute name with one more string. That string being a underscore. Okay, so join that. Let me join this. Now we're so close. We have duplicate. _cc_tail. Order is incorrect. Yeah. Beautiful. Cool. So yeah, now we have this nice way to organize if we're using ARP. But if we're just using standard, so we'll say ARP naming. Okay, that is some laziness there, but it does work. And we can do the postfix.x and the ARP name. And now we have this. So we just need to get rid of the CC. Switch this to just C. And we'll copy this over. This one goes after the bevel. CC underscore, no ARP. Dot L. This one. Copies that one. And gets moved here. All right. Good chance that still doesn't work in Blender, but I believe it should still work. Ooh. Okay, so it looks like it's just the, well, let's select more. right, beautiful. So the main one's working great. And we could even probably take this. Pixie, come on. Go to the tail meshes. Take this one, the middle one, and we can increase the blur, which we can actually see it smoothing out the whole tail, which is awesome. That's exactly why I added that. All right. And that means these other ones are still not moving as we want. Oh, I guess I didn't test. Interesting. Growing the selection only goes up the hierarchy. Okay. Cool. How can we get those groups included? I'm thinking that we can actually go to the low poly body, enable our rig, and then select like so, and Control P, other way, Control P with empty groups. So that should retain the weights that we already have, but add our new bones. Darn. I mean, this one's still working. I know it is, but I just want to test it really quick. It's still rotating the bottom one. Fascinating. Okay, well, let's think a little bit more on that. Because clearly we can transfer the weights. Just not all the weights are transferring. And let's make a new collection. Tail. Source. Put that up top. Drop that in there. And in this, we see we do have initial groups. If I remove it, that would mean that our other groups don't move at all now. Okay, good. That's a little bit more expected. Got rid of one variable. Next variable will be to add all the groups. The groups. That's every group from the body. Let's search tail and get rid of anything that doesn't have tail in it. So say delete all unlocked groups, then unlock all, save, back to here. Still rotates. Still no movement. Perhaps we have named them incorrectly. That's correct, but how about the CC underscore tail? That should create attributes we can see here. And just to confirm, okay, I can see those there. Are they on here? No. Okay. They're just within. So everything's getting used. Ooh. Capitalized. Capitalized. That was my fault for capitalizing them. Yay. Okay, so now all the tails are moving. Good stuff. We're gonna switch gears just for a second here. We get curvature in. Let's get this photo. I'll put that into the Google Drive. Ow. God damn, Pixie. The shit out of me. Little punk. Yeah, what are you looking at, huh? Goofy kitty. She keeps wanting to lean against it. So I just lean forward and she has to readjust. I don't want you to lean on me. Deal with it. Okay, so those are uploaded. Let's scooch over to Google Drive. All right, so let's download this. I guess so. Okay, let's slap open Affinity. Yeah, Affinity. Actually, no, I need to save first. I'd like to use the crop tool. Can I? Document. thought that would delete unused work, but that's okay. Save that. Beautiful. Okay, so new layer. Hide that one. I feel like that's the active color, right? I don't know why it wants to flip them. All right, looks pretty good. Sorry, I'm having to do a bunch of texting right now. Let's turn the webcam on for now. I'm just chilling here. Hello. We chilling. Mhm. She just wants to be held like this all day. I think this would be a perfect day for her if I just held her the whole day. No way. Oh. God. I know you want to cup. You got to be up there. I need my arms. Hey, move your. Ow! Poked myself right on the tip of my finger on our claw. Do a Verona. interesting. Interesting. A little crunchier than I think I was hoping for. I think the normal's facing the wrong way. Yeah, that looks more correct. Not necessarily better, but it's a little more correct. I don't think I like that. Okay, can we isolate curvature? Post-processing? No. Okay. Let's do just this to start with. That's weird. I like going that way. Okay. I can't spend too much time on just a visualization, so we will render image. both tails rigged. I believe the ears rigged. Let's take a look. Pretty sure it is. Right, our export body's still getting fucked up. Okay, so let's take the merge at origin. Oh wait, no. Still some major weight painting issues for some reason. Do these problems exist on our main rig? Must have fucked it up. When I did the empty weights, I wonder if it overwrote the groups. Fuck. Oh, this should be pretty fast. I don't know, that looks pretty good. Okay, so why is the chest not working? Interesting. Just the chest. A little odd. Okay. Real easy if I just do this. It's like it only got rid of it on one half. Motherfucker. It must have been the empty group thing. I don't know what else could have gotten rid of my weight paints like that. It's so annoying. Oh well, I would have to refine them anyway. I'm really not saving that much by just redoing it. So, okay. Let me do it. And that way I get to keep my body sources. All I did was transfer the groups, so just the eyes that change. Live with that. Because now I actually have a working body, and I don't have to redo it all. Okay. Good stuff. Beautiful. So we're missing some of the finger groups, which means we're missing the toe groups too. Thankfully the weights are working, so not missing too much at all. Okay, so that would mean I need to go back to the body one more time. Look at all the attached groups. That's why I do all that, because that's easy. Yeah, let's see. I think the last thing is just our shrink wrap. that this is the outer. All right, good stuff. That took a while, but we did get it done. Interesting. No clipping there. So did we move the mask in here? I guess we did place it manually, so there's no real right or wrong at the moment. Did I scale this one down at all? It's not even in a different position. Okay. Make a backup copy. Oh, right. So body rigged, we'll say most items textured. And we'll leave it there. Oh, I need to download something from Google Drive onto my phone so I can send it to someone. Quick little adaptation to the mock-up period. I included the logo above the tree, period. New line. I also tried to add a more weathered, ancient look, period. Frankly, that'll be a lot easier to do in real life period. Since we can texture the clay / plaster. Adaptation to the mockup. Include the logo. Oops. Adaptation to the mockup. Include the logo of the tree. Also try to add more weather ancient look. Laser in real life since we can texture the plaster directly. I don't see too much of a difference between the lines on the logo and what we have up on the mock-up. Period. Or I should say they fit together pretty nicely already. Hello, Kai. Welcome. How's it going? Perfect. So it joins the low poly. I think it's merged. Push to the bottom. We're using a source object. Places, joins, boom. So we'll call this. Good for a work day, I guess. I work outdoors right now. It's blizzarding, so I'm glad I'm inside. Oh dang. It is. It was a little cold here a few weeks ago, but nothing like that. I hope you're nice and toasty and warm inside. For your commission, we're looking at most of this week will go into this character. Probably be able to start on your Avi this upcoming week, would be my guess. I got some IRL work. I ended up making some murals for people, and it's pretty exciting, but it did take away from my usual schedule. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Good, good. I don't want to put you in a bind. I got some other stuff to do. It's 12:10. I'll probably stream for another hour, and then I have to work on some other projects. So I'll turn this off, and then just duplicate and apply it so that it replaces everything. Yay. And then what that allows us to do, start posing and animating our character. For example, on the body, I'm going to Action Editor. Excuse me. Goodness. All right. Goodness. We're going to append from some of my other client work. Shapekey Baker, we will append this in here. Open up my text editor. Shapekey Baker. Make sure this is saved. We'll rename it to Trothier. We'll do just the VR chat. Selection eyes, that's what we're missing currently. Should still work. So, ooh, we also need the animation. Do Orion, append. Okay. I have a single animation here. Should be moving the face right now. That don't look right. I mean, we should see just any sort of movement right now. Interesting. Okay, so we'll get rid of that one. Do file, append. We'll go to, I believe Lulunug was our most recent avatar. You know, if I had to do it all from scratch, it'd be roughly the same amount of work. So we'll try this one more time. If that doesn't work, then something's wrong. We did update the rig. Potentially, the bone names changed. Looks like it did. Okay, then we'll just do a new. Dave Key Baker. First things first, select everything. Here's the deform too. All the deform. Okay. And you know, this is actually a great chance to refine this whole list because it is a pain in the butt a little bit. Because I have all these different like the spacing and stuff, and I'd rather just go one at a time. So reset, do one thing, then do the next thing, then do the next thing. Yeah, rather just lock in. Or if I change the rig, I really don't like how animation data works. There must be a better way to format this information. Just is kind of goofy. Anyway. Sill will be 1. Blank will be 2. All right. Refinement. Saved it all the way there. Why? Okay. Before we do any animation, let's get the rig on the body working correctly. Interesting. Everything's kind of moved. Because the hands are in the correct position now. But the delay was not a sickness this time. Well, it seems I'm bad for that. Well, I do appreciate your concern for my health, but me as well. I'm glad as well. Let's keep shrink wrap on. The shrink wrap should be on. Should be able to see the shrink wrap. Or the subdivision or something. Why that doesn't work sometimes. Oh, okay, looking good. Not bad. That's pretty good. I like that. Cool, that looks nice. Something's wrong with the shrink wrap right there. That's why. I had fucking auto normalize on. Okay, doesn't look like I fucked things up too badly. Definitely still a lot of little cleanup to do. I have to make sure that this is off. Frustrating. Brrr. There. This time I will turn auto normalizing on while I paint these ones here. Turn that back off now. Let's select just the ear. Or they should have more resolution right where the bone is. Something else has way too much influence up here. It's not the head. Ear, index. Somehow the finger got weighted. And not the only source of influence. Okay, good. That should be about it. Just add a few more cuts here. Still pretty crunchy right there. think we recreated all the face rigging we need at the moment. Make sure we leave our mirror on and join the toes and fingers back. Let's do this. Now, our eyelash is data transferring from body low, so that should be good. I would have liked it to absorb the information from a mask, but this will do. Okay. All right, so blink is number 2, so we're just going to do a full blink for all of them. Solid. Save that. Then we will copy the blank, duplicate it over, and in here, we want just one side. Copy. This will be left, so we'll paste. Go here. Paste flipped. Save. Okay, so that will be 3 and 4. Let's switch to attribute. Be a little bit easier to see what's going on. And I can turn off the deform bones. In fact, let me just keep the deform bones on and delete everything for them. So it's just these ones. Just our main bones. Blinky. Blinky winky. Okay, look up will be 5. Interesting. Point of rotation is incorrect. But we'll save it either way. Boom. Down. Boom. It's much nicer because now we're not skipping a bunch of empty space. Every frame is a single saved value. Makes more sense. I am really curious why the other ones aren't transferring that. Because they should have some movement. And yet we're not getting anything, so the bone names must have changed. Yeah, sure, that sure looks the same. Over here, is there something here? Do we have like a... I don't know. Stay. Hmm. 2 eyes? No. Ugh. Okay. Updated. Look at the body. Let's double check those. Looking up, that might be a little much actually. So go here. Wait, number 6 would be look down actually. So be a little bit exaggerated. It's gonna be my like third time lowering this, but it's just slightly tilted. I know why. Back to edit one more time. This should be the center bone by offset, and we just need to flatten it. Ooh. All right, we'll need to make a updated version of that. That won't be too bad. We'll keep it simple. Let's focus on the body for now. My eyeball. I wonder why that happened. Probably need to reset the rig. Yeah. Got a little lazy eye. We don't have any blend shapes though. this exporting with a facial rig, or does the character... Ah, okay. Okay, clothes are fucked right now, but that's okay. I think I broke the weight painting on the body long before today. I must have broken it last session because clothing should not be broken. It currently is. All right, some things are definitely still messing up, but it's looking better. Interesting. Well, is it just the clothing doing that, or... No, the body's not doing that, so it is just the clothing. It's getting all funky. So you are sampling a object for your data. That, of course, is the data transfer body mass clothed, of course. Who could forget that? This one here. And we're absorbing body source. So if I duplicate and apply, will it have better results? I may also need to reset the weighting in the model or in Unity. We're absorbing that. Try it again. Unless there's some bone that's weighted that's getting dissolved on export. Okay, that's way better. Oh, it looks amazing. Okay. Nice. That is exciting. Oh, let's add some fizz bones. Hmm. If I want to combine the tails, I may have to make a secondary bone that all the tails attach to. Or we have a fizz bone per tail. The reason we might want a fizz bone per tail is because that way you can interact with all of them at once. You would not be able to if they were just one fizz bone component. I need to lower those ones a little bit. Yeah, the ears are maybe a little too wobbly. A little too firm. Too floppy. I think the left one's moving more. The default hand pose, funny. Getting some stretching on that texture there. Cool. There's no... Gotcha, okay. We haven't made the eye texture just yet. Yeah, texture set. Let's enable the first set of mask channels. On this one. User 0 mask. No, just user 0. Perfect. Save. Back to here. Scroll down. Global modifiers, global data masks. Masks. We're using textures. This one. Thank you. Okay, and back to decals. Now we can enable our first decal, and we'd like to use that mask just grabbed. It'll be white here. We'll steal the eye texture from Orion here, FBX, materials, iAlbedo. Paste it here, rename. Right here, iAlbedo. Click on the body. Drop in the decal. Make sure we're using the correct channel, which would be 01. Interesting. Let's also go back to Substance Painter, and I know we added this on the vertex colors. I'm going to get rid of that on the eye with need to make everything a little bit smaller. Let's open up Photo P. Go here. Take our texture, drop it here. We'll take everything. You know what? We'll start with just the eye. Save that there. Let's take a look. Save changes. Return. A little bit smaller. Might need to move the eye itself down a little ways. I guess so. Cool, save that. Actually, no. Put the cursor there. Then disable. Save. Auto Pro. Oh, I have to select the armature, of course, first. Look up reference. Make sure we're doing the eyes right. The eyes are definitely a solid green. The shape. No, it's not a shape. I should be able to fill it. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. You Kyle. Getting these corners here. Don't like that. Change that color. That's set to multiply. A little bit bigger. Bigger and wider. You. All right, 106. So we're missing a few things on the character's texture. Let's add those now. Do I want to add them in substance or through? Yeah, let's do substance. That'll be fastest for now. So we'll make a new layer, buff base. We'll call this body gradients. And these will be color I'm sampling on the reference. And we'll add here a planar gradient. Copy this. We'll invert it. So all of the foot has this value, and it goes all the way up to like the mid leg out there. And we'll do another filter blur just to it'd be nice, but it's breaking too much, so let's try 3D blur. Not super noticeable, good. We'll add a paint on top and then mask out the beans. We need to fix the foot here as well. Actually, a good chance we'll have to redo these. But now we've got the first. You know what? Let me get rid of that paint. Move this above. Because we've already isolated the claws and the beans. So we might as well just add some anchor points there. And on the body gradients, we can just sample, which is created by setting this to multiply and grabbing claws. Anchor. Switch to the beans. Okay. Those are multiply. Dodge. Or subtract. There we go. Cool. And that lets us freely take our gradient, duplicate, and now move it to the arm. Arm goes all the way up the forearm. Pretty solid. And this will be arm. Then we'll also do ears. Actually, sorry, we'll duplicate this one. Beautiful. We'll need to do the same for the tail, but the tail is a separate material. So. Very different vibe. That looks good. Tail looks rather dark. Excuse me. Oh, also the muzzle. and the backs of the knees. It's a decent amount up the face. And we should be able to block out a little bit more of this by, let's do a color selection. We'll pick this color and black. Set these to subtract. And that'll help mask out that muzzle. A little strong on the muzzle, so let's turn the contrast way down. Rotate it a little bit. Just move it back again. I think a little bit lighter will be better. Cool. Me likey. Ooh, crunchy. Okay, we'll have to fix that. All the beans are kind of rotated inward. I think we'll have to counteract that. Find some way to kind of flatten them out. Not too much left on the body, though. Not too much left at all. Ooh. Get those facial. Let's get the visemes done. We'll leave the expressions for another day. But if I can get the visemes done today, I will have saved myself quite a bit of time, and that will be a good thing for the client to test. So we're going to get through this first chunk of stuff. The rest will be in there, but probably look weird. Or I won't hook it up so the client can use it. Not yet, at least. Let's look up some viseme reference. I can spell. I will need to close these lips, so let's do that now. I have a nice little trick for that. It's super simple. There we go. Cool. So we'll take the body, make a new group. We're going to add here. New shrink wrap group. I'll sign that. And we'll add that before. What I can do is say snap mode inside surface. Oh, interesting. I can offset it a little bit. And then I can also get rid of that interior selection. And we'll assign just a slightly lower value to the edges of the lips. Literally perfect. Literally perfect. Cool. Now we take this and call it lip shrink wrap target lips. Okay, good stuff. And we'll throw that into body components. And then on here, we don't want to do this while we're baking. So copy this driver. And we'll paste the driver. And we're going to edit it. do a scripted expression. Cool. So now when we're baking, we can turn it off. Perfection. Awesome. Back down here. Okay, now we can do number 7. Huh. The Paul. Huh, as in Paul expression. So what we do is kind of raise corners up a little bit. Maybe these ones as well. Like a little bit of rotation. Maybe a little bit of rotation here as well. All right, let's correct the numbers for all of these before we continue. The reason for redoing that is I shouldn't have had any spaces between these values anyway. One frame, one shape key. Simple. 9. Ugh. So we open the mouth slightly, kind of square off the corners of the mouth. Most importantly, the tongue is between the teeth. And 10. 10 is D. D. Much influence up there. D. 11. So K. It's kind of a lower, sharper looking. All right, and then Ch. is very similar to. All right, 15. It's a tough one. Hmm. I don't think I want this pinching that's happening here. That may be a problem later. If I encounter an issue, I guess that's only for face tracking. But if I encounter an issue, I know what's going on. All right, now we got O. Ooh. O. 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 Close. I'm gonna find that tomorrow. Then oo will be even closer. Cool. So now we'll be able to bake the bi-seams. We're missing one thing though. We need a vertex group called selection eyes. So let's add that. Rebake the body, export, and then we should have some bi-seams in our Unity project. Yay! All right, so we should be able to save and run this script. We got some shape keys now. Yes, we do. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, after I set this up, that will be all the work for today. I don't think these transforms are going to work properly. No eye movement just yet. But we do have icings. No shape keys. So we have great shape key from Tuple, VRC blend shapes. VRC blend shapes, we have the correct movement. We have the animation at the correct frame. That must mean that our modifier is incorrect. No, it is looking for armature. Okay, shape key is working fine there. It's the export that it's not working on. Let's make sure that this modifier is completely disabled and try one more time. Perfect. The eyes unattached. They're in slightly the wrong spot. Yep. Nice. Okay, let's get that Unity package out. Body rigged. Isbones. Seems silly name, but it'll help me remember. All right, I'm gonna call it here. I've got some more. I'll be doing some more work, but I'd rather do this next section off camera. So, thank you all for hanging out. I will be back. I'll be back tomorrow. I think I should be here the full week. Thursday, Friday. I might be gone, just for one of those days. Hopefully, more IRL work. It doesn't seem to be slowing down, which is very exciting. And I'm gonna make sure that the next time I'm set up somewhere working with a mural or other IRL project, we'll get the stream set up so you guys can with me. Anyway, thank you for hanging out. See you soon. Have a good one. Bye, Kai. Bye, Hanma. Anyone else that's lurking out there? Hope you're having a great one.